Morning, welcome to another live feed on Sharpness YouTube channel for February 6th, 2026. Let's get into what I got get into some on about book. God says so fair play. The measure you are, measure you use, it will be measured to you. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. Fair play. According to R.T. Kendall, he talks about King Solomon's wisdom and two prostitutes, each of whom had babies, came to him after one of the babies died in the middle of the night. Each woman claimed to be the true mother. Solomon gave the order, bring me a sword, then divide the living child in two. Give half to the one and half the other. The woman who was the true mother immediately pleaded with King Solomon to give the baby to the other woman. It was Solomon's shrewd way of finding out who true mother was. It worked. Solomon saw it clearly. The true mother would never let her own baby be killed. She is his mother, declared Solomon. All Israel stood in awe of the king because they perceived that the wisdom of God was in him to do justice. This is true in God's system of fair play. God demonstrates this in everything. He ever does. Will not the judge of all the earth do right? Asked Abraham. Nobody can buy off God. He's no one's debtor. God's justice is always equitable. Justice that is always absolutely fair. Here's the promise of equitable justice. In some way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Note against the future tense, will be judged, will be measured. Jesus is not merely passing along particle common sense wisdom as if to say, we should know this about people. It's the best way to make friends. Who's very much more. Yeah. Jesus is here guaranteeing God's sense of fair play. Down the road, sooner or later, it's God himself who is the one who will do the judging. So we elbow in on his territory without his getting to know who what he does best. He notices it. Keep in mind, so that God's essential nature is that he's a God of justice. Do not be afraid of any man, for it belongs to God. Man seeking always rule, but it's from the Lord that man gets justice. God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it's good or evil. When Jesus promotes equitable justice, then it is like introducing the ABCs of God's ways. The place of equitable justice. Where is this justice administered here in the present life? At the final judgment, it can be either. Must all stand before the judge of Christ to give an account of the things done in the body, whether good or bad. And then why do you judge your brother? Why do you look down on your brother? And we all stand before God's judgment seat. Each of us will give an account of himself to God. The example we have that we judge for quite soon is grandson, meaning that we will have to fix it later at the judgment seat of Christ. And where God is, long he waits. It is important to remember that no one will escape his judgment. The sea gave up the dead that were even men like Earl Fitzgerald, George Staley, and they all will given his people stay in trial. There's no evidence that these were personally judged below. That day of judgment will come. Place of judgment then can be in the present life. And God stepped in at the form. If we accepted to point the finger or be swift to clear out aims and earn God's all his loving culture. Judge nothing before the appointed time. Wait till the Lord comes. He'll bring to light what is hidden in darkness. Expose the motives of men's hearts. That time each will receive his praise from God. The day of judgment, therefore, may be any day that God chooses. God intends to relieve any moment. He used to make us give an account for our words. Hasty counsel uncalled for fault finding. God has a way to make his day on the day of judgment. Because when he rolls up his sleeves and exposes us, letting us get experience before others. As the Bible is heaven up forward and healing is heaven brought forward. So King God bring judgment forward and put us in our place. Will you make us undergo premature death? is with nice and sapphire. Imagine you are holding a 12-inch ruler. Consider a scale 1 to 12. Let 1 be when you show mercy. Let 12 be your point of the finger. And much the same way, on a scale of 1 to 12, now I can step in and bring justice. There's a little misdemeanor, like a 4 or 5, may really get slap on the wrist. He has a way of doing that. He has a way of making you see you can't get away with it. It hurt. If you are found out, you should say, thank you, Lord. The journalist found out they were running from God by themselves on a ship. You sure. It's grateful that. Correct it. Therefore, don't despise it. If you don't get caught being judged on his death is like proof, you won't be condemned with the world. To be condemned with the world means eternal punishment on the hell. We surely don't want that. We thank for judgment from him and not to be judged in this life means that God is sparing you with some punishment, but unless making you face your sin. Give you love, give you loving correction. Whom God loves his discipline. Here are 4 principles of equitable judgment. Equitable judgment. First, consider that sowing and reaping. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. Man sows what he reaps. Man reaps what he sows. The man who sows to his sinful nature, from that nature will reap destruction. The one who sows to please the Spirit will reap eternal life. See also in the matter of generosity, be given other finances. Remember, it's whoever sows sparingly also reap sparingly. Whoever sows generously will also reap generously. You may be all sure that the greater the challenge, the greater the potential reward. The greater our suffering now, the greater the anointing later. The greater the injustice you have to forgive, the greater the blessing that will be yours. If you did, you let them off the hook. When you show mercy as opposed to throwing, look at them, and you will be great. The same is true when you refuse to judge other. Tend to point the finger, refusal, show mercy when God knows full well how he has protected you. It's what lies behind Jesus' word. The same you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measures you use, it will be measured to you. That's God's good sense of fair play. When you have been landed with great abuse, severe hurt, most painful injustice, but show mercy, God knows this. You don't throw the book at them, but forgive them. God remembers. Consider the seriousness of moving in his territory. He's the eternal, absolute, and supreme judge. Indicating bringing the business is what God does best. And the pride come of his prerogative is alone. As we have seen, he is not happy when you try to do his job. He wants to bring justice, which will be absolutely fair. There's a question often asked. Are some sins worse than others? Answer is yes. The Lord makes it clear that some sins deserve greater punishment than others. So sin also gets God's attention quicker than others. Although he may not unveil his ability, we immediately comes out to kill him. If you be interested to know how to annoy him quickest, here's how to do it. Try trespassing where no trespassing is allowed. Then you moving in on his territory. It's God who will visit us. He does not want your help or mine. And the principles that lie behind God's sense of fair play. What happens if we rebel and we compete with him on his prerogative to vindicate? You make him step aside, not let him do what he does best. Is when you roll up your sleeves do his job for them. He will stand back and say nothing. He will let you proceed. In due case, your foot will slip, and you will regret that you ever moved ahead of him. The main measure you use by exercise patience or running ahead of the Lord will be measured to you. Consider only a matter of time, principle. So they consider the finishing issue of when and where God judges. God steps in now. It's a fairly good indication he won't return. Days of judgment for the same thing twice. His days matters of being judged in the here and now, opposed to having to receive the condemnation that's coming to the world. So judgment in hell. This also follows if one man's not judged in the present life. Say the case of people like Hitler and Stalin, it'd be worse for them any day wrong. Like being Adolf Hitler's shoes, you think that Hitler got away with those murders? Not at all. God only appeared to do nothing with these men. There are millions of people, others who have been so wicked, who were able to get away with violent evil. But God's sense of fair play, seen one day. To quote Yogi Berra, they are also over. The word, the final judgment hasn't come yet. And then, one is not judged in the present life, but she will be judged later. But far worse, the same is true when Christian at the final judgment. Some will receive a reward, some will be saved by fire. But that means they will still go to heaven without reward for judgment. Once he could have said himself will do anything to avoid being saved by fire. Once again, I want God to deal with me now, not then. When there is something in my personal life, he's him. I refer to when once again to present discipline God. Heavenly Father. I have a big hope in you. But to have him deal with my later on. Soon steps in. God steps in with that. There's nothing here that will not be disclosed. Think to show that will not be known or brought out into the open. Fourth, for those who consider, you may not determine how it will be. Here again is God's sense of fair play. Would you like to determine how the punishment or reward will be meted out? The measure you use, it will be measured to you. Purpose of eternal equitable judgment. Why does God step in and judge? What's it all about? Four, to show that God is for the underdog. He's also for those who for the underdog. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers of mine, you did for me. Said Jesus, you God understand the company giving them their equitable inheritance. So God says to us, to those who judge, why do you judge your brother? Why do you then look down on your brother? So then, each of us will give an account of himself to God. God steps in to show us himself for what he is. I'm supposed to know that he knew everything that went on. So it will be revealed in the manifestation of his justice to demonstrate clearly and unmistakably that he is worthy of our brother condemnation. Verily, God will judge to show that no stones unturned. The God should be raised up. Every moment might be revealed, made low, the both ground, sparrows and come up, the earth places of plain. The word of the Lord will be revealed. No man comes thereof will see it. The mouth of the Lord has spoken. No God's workmanship was delayed. Eventually reward. So what give the God gives to every single whatsoever live the justice that was due. Again, being well lived, whatever the matter and whatever the status, besides that God's awesome scrutiny. All those who read people will get their consequences. Convinced of equitable judgment. How can judgment be avoided? and the word. Don't play God, don't judge, because the other you realize none so. Don't be defensive or excuse yourself. Go on your knees and beg for mercy. Confess our sins and speak from justice, and will forgive us for our sins. Purify us from all of our righteousness. Don't sweep anything under the carpet. God will prefer to bring us to repentance than bring us to judgment. We judge ourselves, that is, if we repent, says Paul, will not come under judgment. Simply put, hate yourself. It doesn't mean quit yourself or excuse yourself. It means you're God's presents a fair play. You come down on yourself with ruthless fairness, which I tell you, when you see you have sinned admitted, you just realize that you have been pointing a finger, pressing to stop it. The total picture will come out on the final day. So we all will see. That's good. We have an invitation to settle out of court, to judge ourselves now and avoid what's coming. Now what? But you know God, you know my heart. Sex me, you know my anxious thoughts. If there's any offensive way in me, lead me in the way everlasting. God should choose to judge you in a way now. What would we choose to do? Take it with both hands. That's it. We'll be in chapter 70 on Monday. Fault finds cause and cure. Or do you look at the speck of your sawdust, your brother's eye, and pay no attention to the plank of your own eye? And teach yourself as your kids that on Monday. That's it. Into this Bears and Redskins book. 73-0. Let's get into it. Singing, Slinging, Baugh. It's about the Bears, Redskins, NFL's greatest massacre, 73-0. Singing Baugh, the cowboy from Texas, made the Washington Redskins. Baugh's arm was a singular weapon at a time, and few National Football League teams thought much about passing, and fewer still possessed a quarterback cannon arm. Such quarterbacks are rare enough species at any time, but nevertheless, to see era passing, Baugh's skill was almost magical. First Preston Marshall's Redskins showed first signs of life. They exited Boston with the rival both Redskins and Baugh simultaneously in Washington. Marshall struck gold in the most sophisticated of ranch home men at the helm, extolled the nation's capital, spread the gospel of pro football to and throughout the South. Baugh was a wiry 6'2", that weighed about 185 pounds. No big body truck and build. He had an eminent toughness and started at quarterback his rookie in 1937 after being drafted out of Texas Christian University. Until then, the Redskins had been no particular rival of the Chicago Bears and Baugh's presence of the Redskins until the cowboy of the NFL. Baugh was from tiny Sweetwater, Texas, from Bear Street, CCU, and out to Washington by the time he was 23. He had dreamed of becoming a Major League Baseball player. His right arm served him well on the diamond too. It was just that it was better suited to the ground. There was no denying Baugh's all-around athleticism, although it is difficult to compare Harrison to the all-around competitive football play. Has dramatically changed based on his contributions to Washington during his 16-year season NFL career. It could be argued that Baugh is the greatest player in NFL history. He was one of the pioneers of the passing game, and as quarterback led the Redskins to championship success. But beyond that, he at different times during his NFL career was chosen All Pro as a defensive back and as a punt. Key positions. Baugh was a legendary passer and an all-star player at two other positions, and they have yet to define a word to cover that breadth of talent and achievement in the game. That's the kind of stuff a superior athlete achieved in high school. NFL not hardly. Baugh was brought at the scene on the Redskins number one draft pick. The number one draft pick He's 37 for the Redskins. At a time when the league's football coaches were just beginning to open their minds, players to the underclass, they didn't examine that as could be a devastating offensive force. His opposite number with the Bears, Sid Luckman was one the same vintage a player coming along at just the right time to show what he had, show what could be accomplished by a signal called off the bazooka. All of his own greatness as a Hall of Famer, certainly as one to appreciate Chicago Bears of all time. I've been my ball now near the end of their careers, let them know it. It's like to still sit and watch him. He told me told us I learned something. Nobody's ever going to prove it. Nobody. Ball was born 19. Ball was born in 1914 in Central Texas. He was a two-time All-American for two CU. Blue-eyed, raw bones, and played in the leather helmet days with no face mask. He fitted the baseball master rodeo broken leg. The Washington Ball led the NFL in passing 6 times, reporting 5 times, and interceptions once. One year, he completed 70.2% of his passes, at a time when many other starting quarterbacks completed less than 50%. One season, Ball averaged 51.3 yards per punt. One year, he intercepted 11 passes. He was so popular, he was approved to appear in a movie called the Texas Rangers. His was stamped all over the ball. If the NFL had been playing in Houston back then, he no longer would have ankles to end up on one of the rosters. But leave Texas unless he had to, especially in his later years. Values. The word is often used now to describe a strong on quarterback with a gun and was gunslinger, but there was no prototype for a gunslinger. Quarterback when Ball played, he pretty much invented it. He had a willingness to throw often, knowing he could rally a team to a late game comeback. That style came naturally to him. Ball fouled football when he was younger. But all the stars were either hulking tackles or running backs who took the ball on their arm or downfield by either and holders were making it. Boy who learned those big time football names. Cookman, West Texas. He announced from Ebony. Both boys came back to Texas. In that first major showdown with the Bears, Ball threw 352 yards, 3 touchdowns. You could say there was a new sheriff in town, and only Grumpy Alex took his fedora selection with the classic post-game celebration. This is from the game Redskins won their first championship in season 20 to 21 of the Bears. Fun introduction for Chicago's Coach House and Holly the last time Ball was a major play on Papa's Bears radar screen. Ball was a one-man team. He licked us up by himself. Stick around a little bit. Right, Ball, his rookie year, he's 161 passes. He gained 1,127 yards through the air. Ball was no longer a newcomer in the NFL in 1940. He was a known quantity, just one that most Gibsons couldn't stop. During the 1940 regular season, Ball tossed 177 passes, completed 111 of them, a completion rate of 62.5%, an average rate of success that did not become common until the 1970s and beyond. The Bears and Hollis were at all surprised by what Raw pulled off in the 1937 championship. They definitely understood that to win the 1940 crown, they would have to contain Ball. The Bears had not played particularly well in the regular season loss to the Redskins the 7-3 defeat a few weeks earlier, but it gave Washington confidence, and even the Bears were angry. If the Bears were angry, they were still smart from the loss they wished to avenge. There's no reason for the Redskins not to believe that they could duplicate success. Baugh was no different than his teammates. Of course, they thought they would win championship in 1940, although he did not say so years later, or did it say that he and his teammates not happy about owner George Preston Marshall telling the Bears about the loss. He put things in the proper paper when the Bears down. You don't want to help the other team. You should say things like that. Marshall's rather offensive. Going over gave Baugh pause. Now ahead, one irony of the Redskins conversation of that era was the fact that starting in 1940, Chicago was also a star player from Sweetwater, Texas, as that was. Lyman Clyde Bulldog Turner, whom some consider to be as great as Baugh was a quarterback. Fastest hometown boy in the way off the field. On the day Washington bested Chicago 17 for the season. The teams were excellent in the field. Walking down the ramp that led to the locker rooms when Turner up next to Baugh said, just remember, we'll be seeing you bastards in 8 weeks, don't forget that. At the moment that could easily have been construed as sour grapes, but Baugh did not respond in kind. Baugh knew that there was every chance the two squads would lead again December. He kept his own counsel, unlike Marshall. Baugh cringed when he read how Marshall popped off in the newspapers. The leading of the year, Bears did not call them crybabies. Did call them crybabies, Marshall. He added more to quitters, Marshall said. They pulled up when the going gets tough. Just look at what they did today. They don't know how to win the close game. Ouch, but Baugh may or may not have known that in addition to his ill-advised diatribe. Marshall also actually sent George Harrison a telegram. Apparently that was just in case I was to read the Washington State newspapers. And part read, I hope I have the pleasure of beating your ears off next Sunday and every year to come, just as triumphant. In many ways, this encounter was a dream come true for Marshall. Not only was he the owner of the top-notch football team, Baugh said he thought this was the best Redskins he played on, but it was a hit at the box office. See, Washington was a power town. Redskins represented the city that was at the sea of power. Congressmen and senators not only rooted for the Redskins, they wanted tickets to the big game at Griffith Stadium. Marshall was in his element. He had to wait for a kickoff. Marshall was like the father of the bride. All eyes in Washington were going to be on his Redskins. The star quarterback Sammy Baugh will shine in 150-piece Redskins and will play the song of the day. At the end of the afternoon, in Marshall's mind, he just will be in front of him. Right, so Monday again to the first quarter of this matchup. The Bears and the Redskins. The Bears won 17-9, and it was the greatest massacre. First quarter. All right, so that's it for today. Subscribe to the channel if you like it. Be back on Monday for more content from Someone in the Mount book. First quarter of Bears and the Redskins 17-0 matchup in chapter 69 or chapter 70. Chapter 7. What fun. It's called here. Chapter 7. All right, so until then, subscribe to the channel. Be back on Monday. Talk to you on Monday.